Hey guys, so in this video I just want to talk a little bit about travel bans. This article from Nature, which is a news article, not a scientific paper. We're not going to talk about any scientific papers in this video, which is a little different than the other videos on this channel. But it says Omicron variant border bans ignore the evidence, say scientists. And it's mainly because after Omicron was discovered by South Africa and Botswana, a bunch of countries across the world put travel bans on South Africa and Botswana and that region of the world. And that basically leads to punishing these countries for doing genomic surveillance, identifying a variant, and reporting it to the world, because now they're kind of cut off from the world for saying, for basically doing a service to the world and identifying a variant. And the reason that that's a problem is because by the time that this was discovered and sequenced, the thing had already spread. So we know that they reported this on November 24th to the WHO, and by that time, the variant had been spreading across the world, and it's pretty obvious that that's been the case. So Botswana says that they actually sequenced the variant in their country from 11 traveling diplomats that went through Europe before they came to Botswana. So they did not find it in their own people, but they did not disclose the nationalities of the four diplomats, not 11, sorry, four diplomats. So here's an interesting article from Australia talking about how as countries are going back and looking at the sequences in their data banks farther and farther back in time, they're finding that the Omicron variant was in their countries long before. So let's go here. The Netherlands, I believe. Yeah, let's see. Okay, here we go. So Botswana's government says that it found Omicron variants in samples from four diplomats on November 11th. So they found it on November 11th. Dutch officials now confirm that Omicron was detected in the country in two test samples that were taken on November 19th and November 23rd. So, this wasn't reported to the WHO until November 24th, and the travel bans went into effect like on November 25th and 26th. So by that time, this was already there in the other countries. And then in the UK, on November 22nd, there was a concert in Glasgow by this group, and 9 other cases were linked to a private event held on November 20th. So it's basically, our world is so interconnected now that people are traveling so much that by the time a variant has been identified, sequenced, and reported, it's already global. So regional specific travel bans just probably don't work. The only travel bans that work are travel bans where they limit travel from all countries all the time without waiting for a variant. So the travel bans that like Australia, New Zealand, South Korea have, where basically everyone, either like South Korea doesn't have a travel ban, but everyone has to quarantine for I think like 7 days in a hotel and get tested at the end of the 7 days. New Zealand, I think, has a pretty strict travel ban. They don't allow travel. And then even when you do, you have to quarantine. So those kinds of travel bans, they do work because they're in place all the time, and they will catch more positive people, no matter the variant. But if you wait until a variant is identified and then try to stop travel from the area that it was identified at, basically all you're doing is punishing the people that report the variant, and it may not even have started in their country, and you're just punishing them because they happen to have reported it. That's not fair, and that discourages countries from reporting it, because if, like, let's say, Vietnam finds a variant, what incentive do they have to report it to the world community? They'll just wait for some other country to report it, and then they won't get the travel ban. The other country will get the travel ban. So that's kind of counterproductive. So I think that these regional specific travel bans are probably ineffective, mainly because of the reasons we talked about. By the time that it's identified, it's already global. The only travel bans that work are universal travel bans and universal quarantine. Because of the incubation period and lag of this disease. All right, so tell me what you guys think about regional travel bans and whether you think uh, permanent travel bans, or not permanent travel bans, but travel bans that are in effect all the time, like in New Zealand, are worthwhile. For a big country like the United States, it's probably not realistic. Our economy is too big, our borders are too porous, we do too much international travel and business to make those things uh, practical. I think a small country like New Zealand can kind of make it work. But eventually they're going to get the variant. It's just a matter of time. You can't cut yourself off from the world anymore. So I don't know that. I'm not a public policy person, but it just doesn't seem like it's very effective, and it just punishes the countries that are trying to do a service by reporting it.